sanctuary with our little bit of lights. And I would count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden we turn them on at the same time. The interesting thing to me in that is that the darkness that was once overclouded in this sanctuary is dispelled by the darkness of our life. And that is what I want to hold on to, especially in this confirmation, is that God is entrusting you something that you have the opportunity to begin to discover. Now, I don't care if you're in 6th grade, whatever grade you're in, or if you're out of school and you're navigating different parts of life, that this is the treasure that we get to go back to each and every day. There was this one song growing up when I was a kid that I heard, and I still kind of hum it here and there. And I'm going to ask these two friends of mine. This is Mr. Augie Leal right here, and Jerry Rodriguez all the way. You guys remember this song? Oh, I knew this song. I knew this song. Sorry. Hey, you guys, there's this one song I told you about back in the day when we were kids, and if you know it, you got to sing along with it. So I'll let you guys take it away and see if we can all remember this.
So let's first of all, thank you for having us, and let's do a little something. If you got a phone with a light on it, we're gonna do just what Michael says. We sing this song, you know it. Why don't you light it up and then don't face it towards the front, but put it behind you so those around you can see what's gonna happen here. We go, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, can I remember that? I'm gonna let it shine.
When your child was just learning how to walk, and they were learning how to walk, I don't know about you, but as parents, and I got 2 kids, I always found it really interesting that they would kind of stumble a bit, they would fall down, and they try to get back up. But what did we do as parents when they fell down? You probably laughed at it. I mean, it's messed up, right? It's messed up from the kid's perspective, like, what's wrong with me? Nothing, keep going. But if we take that image, what we were doing is that we were cheering them up. We weren't focused on the mistake, were we? We were focused because we knew that if they kept going, they would eventually understand the process and how to do it. And look at you today, you're doing just fine, aren't you? Well, when I was growing up in Houston, Texas, the reason why these guys are here, I'm originally from Houston. When I was 14 years old, I saw these 2 musicians playing, and I thought to myself, man, it would be pretty cool to be around that and learn from them. And as I grew up as an only child. And Augie and his wife Dawn had a child, and his name was Jay Michael. And I haven't shared this story in a while, but Jay Michael was just learning how to walk and talk. And he would look up at me and he would call me Mikey. And he would say, Mikey, I want to hold you. And I looked at this little kid that was just learning how to walk, and I looked up and I said, Jay Michael, I said, you can't hold me. I'm too big and you're too small. It's impossible. And Jay Michael looked at me again and he says, Mikey, I said I want to hold you. Now, I was 18 years old at the time, and I figured I needed to teach him a lesson. I said, J. Michael, let me just go and lay it out for you. I'm too big, you're too small, it ain't gonna happen. Have you ever seen a kid go half psychotic crazy for a moment? He just looks at me and he goes, I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. He says, Mikey, I am going to hold you. And this kid takes off running towards me. He gets about 10 feet away from me and he starts to fly in the air towards me. I got a major decision to make, baby. Number one is I can catch him. That'd be the right thing to do. Or number two, I can move out of the way and teach him not to fly at other human beings. It's not a good idea. But of course, I chose number one. And when I grabbed him into my arms, he kind of just snuggled up there and I squeezed him really tight. And he said something that I've never forgotten since that moment. He looks at me and he says, Mike, I said, what? He says, I'm holding you. You see, my image of what I thought he was going to do was walk over and try to pick me up and carry me around. But he knew that was impossible. So did I. But he knew that if he had the courage to take a leap of faith, the one that he was jumping to was going to catch him. And I don't know about you, but we need to find that moment for us that when we're choosing to jump and take a step of faith or whatever that is for you, that we are confident in the one that we are jumping to will catch us. Now this past week, very special week for me. Reason why? I look forward to this day all year long. When we get to that day, I actually celebrate the whole month of when this day lands. People get frustrated with me. I don't care. It's my month. April is my month, okay? I celebrate the month. I celebrate the week of. I celebrate the week during. I celebrate the day. And then I celebrate the week after. And they say, well, why do you do that? I said, the reason why I do that is because it reminds me of everything that I have gone through over this past year. I am still here today. Hopefully, I'm stronger. Hopefully, I'm wiser. Hopefully, I still got as much passion as I did last year. And on Wednesday this past week, I got to celebrate my birthday. You can clap that too. I like that a lot. No, we clap for that for me because it reminds me. It'll remind you the most inspirational, motivational thing I can tell you. I don't care if you're grade 6 or what you do. Grade 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Your track record for getting through bad days from the day that you were born up until today's date is 100%. You have proven to yourself that everything that you thought was impossible, difficult, hard, challenging, whatever, you have already proven to yourself that you have made it to this day. But that being said, there are days that we give people gifts. We celebrate them. We honor them. Now here's the thing about gifts, especially God's gifts. Every day it says that God's mercies are new. God's grace is fresh. God's grace is on time. And God's grace and God's love and God's mercy is with you always. The thing about this, though, is that these gifts are meant to be used for the day. I don't know about you, but sometimes we do something really well, like a month ago, or a year ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, and we still live in the success of yesterday. Maybe you got to be a part of a team, you got to be a part of a championship, you got to be a part of a drama, you got to be a part of something. And we all of a sudden start living in what was great yesterday, and we forget about the goodness of today. Let me play this out for you for a second. What is your name? Luke. Okay, we're grade now. Grade 6. Okay, so let's just say, Lucas, in grade 1, you really wanted a brand new bike. Okay? You were hoping for a bike, you asked for the bike, and you were praying that the person that you asked would get to you. Remember that, grade 1. Okay? Now, I want to come over to you. What is your name? Now. Okay, we're grade you now. Grade 6. How many of you are in grade 6, by the way? Oh, grade 6. Okay, that's great. Now, so I got Mallory in grade 6. So let's just say Mallory, just for the sake of it. Let's say you really saw this one shirt that you really, everybody had it. Everybody was wearing it. And you asked for, I want to get a shirt like that. And so I got Mallory over here, and I got Lucas over here, right? So we got a bike and a shirt. in grade 1, let's say it was your birthday, you actually opened up a gift, and you, Valerie, got that shirt. And you took that shirt out of that packaging, and you started to jump and shout. You showed them, look at my shirt. And you, my friend, got the bike. Now, in grade 1, that was the perfect gift, wasn't it? It was awesome. We were hoping for it, we were praying for it, and you got it. But let's fast forward to grade 6. If you, Valerie, were to bring that shirt that you got in grade 1, and you tried to wear that shirt that you got in grade 1 today, it wouldn't look right, would it? No. And you, my friend, if you got that bike in grade 1, and you tried to ride that bike from grade 1 to where you are now, you would be scraping your face on the ground. It wouldn't work. Now, in the beginning, it was good. And that is what I want to help remind us of. It's not saying that the gift in grade 6 is any less valuable. It's just what it was meant for was during that time. And I don't want us to forget this or miss this, especially those of you that are in confirmation. Because what is God is bestowing on you in confirmation is not a material gift. It is a gift that never expires and renews each and every day. And I love that more than anything. There was a story in the Bible, you've probably heard it. It's in Luke chapter 15. And there's about these 2 brothers and his dad and what they all have. And sometimes we miss what we have when we look at everybody else. I told you in the beginning about comparison, right? About our lives. And what we end up doing, and this is going to be helpful for some of you, we compare our behind the scenes with other people's highlight reels. We compare our behind the scenes with other people's highlight reels. And when I started to think about this, it reminded me of Luke chapter 15. There was this one brother that thought to himself, I'm done with this. I want to just have everything that's owed to me, whenever my dad and parents, whenever they move on and pass on, I want what's owed to me now. So we want everything now, here and now. If I don't get it now, God's not listening. No, God's preparing. Big difference. And so I started to look at this a little bit deeper, and you know this. The son goes up to the dad and says, Dad, everything that you were going to give me for my inheritance once you're gone, I want it today. Now, if you're a parent and you were to read that and your kid came up to you and told you that, you'd probably look at them like they're crazy. Parents and dad, that's how you would look at them and say, yeah, me too. But for some reason, this dad ends up giving this son his inheritance. But what does the son do? He goes away and he spends absolutely everything. Everything. It's now down to 0. There is nothing. And after a while, this son of his, that's no longer a part of the family, thinks to himself, if I just go back, if I go back home, I can at least be a hired servant and do better than I'm doing today. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a pretty humbling thing to do. However, he had nothing. He had no other choice. And so he begins to prepare this speech. And the speech is 15 words. Father, I have sinned against heaven and against earth. And he goes on and on for 15 words on this. And he prepares it. He's trying to memorize it. He's trying to get it in his heart. Probably writes it down. I don't know. And finally he gets the courage to start making his journey home. And as he's making his journey home in Luke chapter 15, maybe you see it. When he gets off in a distance, it says that the Father sees him. And the Father doesn't stand there like this, waiting and say, I've been waiting for you to come home. I've been waiting for you because I knew you was going to mess it up. What it says is the Father takes off running towards the kid. Think about this for a moment. Go to the kid's perspective. You're trying to go to be just a part of the circle of it. You're trying to be a hired servant. And you see your dad running at you from a distance. You think you are in big trouble in that moment. Would you agree with that? Yeah, me too. But to his shock and amazement, the father runs up to him and wraps his arms around him. And he puts his robe on. Interesting thing about this is that the brother refused. Go. How many of us refuse when God does something great for you or someone else? In particular with someone else. We refuse to be okay with that. Well, God, don't you see what I'm doing? Don't you see how much I'm trying? Don't you see all the things I'm trying to help and be a good dad, be a good mom, or be a good grandma or grandpa, or be a good kid? And he refuses to go in. But yet the party continues without him. I don't want you and I to ever be the one that refuses to walk into the place that God has given you a place for. Now, I don't know where you're at in your faith journey. I don't know, as a parent, if you're here just because you got to check the box and you were told you got to be here, or if you're a kid, you're like, man, there's something on the inside that needs, I need to believe. And we think that that story is about the kid that went away and came back. We think that it might be about the brother that refused to go in, maybe. But you know what the story is really about? That's when you say what? The story is about the storyteller. The storyteller that's trying to let us know each and every day that when we have the willingness to say, listen, I need to go back. I need to run back. That we are going to be met not with guilt and shame, but we're going to be met with love and forgiveness. And we can prepare all the speech that we want. Interesting thing in that story. The kid tried to say, Father, I have sinned, and he stopped him. Because he already knew his heart. Just like you and your kid. You already know their heart. Our job is to continue to show what that could look like each and every day. It's about the stories. It's about God's grace. I don't know about you, but I'm not smart enough to understand all the theological stuff. I'm working to learn more every day. And sometimes I see things that just help me put it in perspective. So I found a short video about grace to help us understand it. So what I'd like for you to do, if you don't mind, is just turn your attention to that wall right there where it says confirmation. And I want you to see what grace could possibly look like. Watch this.
Grace is God's unmerited favor for us, His crazy love. And the truth is, many times we struggle understanding. If you find yourself struggling to understand God's grace, don't beat yourself up. Even the disciples struggle with understanding grace.
Jesus said to you, you're alive. I can't believe you're alive. Okay, I was in the boat and I wasn't catching any fish, okay? But I heard this voice and the voice said, cast your net to the other side. And so I'm thinking, I'm a fisherman. I know I'm good, but I'm not catching any fish, you know? And so I throw that net over there and then I'm gagging the fish up into that net. I'm going, this is a total miracle. Who could have done that? I need to know who told me to throw the net to the other side. And boom, I look up and I mean, there is you. You're looking at me on the seashore going, it is I, the Lord, is real alive. I can't believe you're alive. This is awesome. Andrew, get out of the boat. Come on.
Peter.
Yeah.
Do you love me?
Yes, I love you. I love you. You're alive. This is so great.
Here, feed my sheep.
Andrew, get out of the boat. Come on, man. It's here.
Peter.
Yeah.
Do you love me?
I love you. Yes. And I'm so sorry about that rooster cluck, and I have no idea what that meant, but I do know.
Then feed my sheep.
Andrew, I'm smiling, but I'm serious. Come on, get out of the boat. It's him.
Peter.
Yeah.
Do you love me?
Jesus, mere words cannot describe the passion that I have for you. I love you. You know everything. I love you.
Good. Good. Then feed my sheep.
I didn't know your lifestyle. That is so like you, though. There's something new about you all the time. That's what I love about you.
Peter, do you remember the morning the ladies went to the tent?
Yeah. We're all down the road trying to figure out what to do next, you know, because we thought you were dead. You know, you were dead, you know, and we're trying to figure all that out, you know. And Mary comes running up, and Mary's like saying, beehive, beehive, beehive. And I'm thinking, I'm allergic to bees. I keep them out, you know what I'm saying? But as she kept getting closer, I heard her correctly. She was saying, he's alive, he's alive, he's alive. And I'm going, who's alive, who's alive? And she said, she was at the tomb, and the tomb was empty, and she said that there was an angel there. And the angel said, go tell the disciples of Peter that everything is okay, he's risen. And so, me and John, we hightail it down there, and John says he's totally lying, all right? I beat him, FYI, all right, you know? When we get down there, and I'm looking at that tomb, and there it is empty. There's nothing in there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And John is right there. John is so good at words. He should write a book. He is so good at words. And John said, Don't you get it, Peter? This is everything Jesus said he was going to do, and you did it. It's done. Let's go. This is over.
Wait, the angel said what?
Go tell the disciples and Peter that everything is okay. He is risen. You've risen. Let's go.
He said what?
Go tell the disciples and Peter. Go tell the disciples and Peter. You said my name. Why did you say my name?
Peter, that's grace.
No, I don't deserve that because that night people kept coming up to me asking me if I belonged to you, if I was with you, and I kept denying you left and right. It'll take me my whole life to make up for what I did. It was unforgivable for what I did.
What I did on the cross was meant to take what is unforgivable and make it forgivable. That's my grace. It's not about you. It's always about me. That's grace.
So when we think about grace in that context, it changes things. Now, this is not just meant to be me yapping at you, though I've been talking to you for 25 minutes. I've done myself like that so far. So my job is to make this kind of fly by in a good way. But you've got to be a part of this with me. And I know that you're looking at me, you're kind of like, I'm still trying to figure out if I can be okay with what's happening right now. But I want you to know that my heart is here because we've been invited. And hopefully something that is shared is going to help you in your faith journey throughout this confirmation moment. But there's two questions. There's two questions that I'm going to get you, whoever you're here with, is I want you to answer these two questions. We're going to give you about 5 minutes just to kind of talk it through. If it doesn't need to go 5 minutes, that's okay. But I gave you two for a reason. Because sometimes the first one's kind of hard, I don't know, so I'll give you another one. The first question is, what's the best gift you have ever received? You don't have to get all spiritual about it. You can just be honest about it. And the second one is, what is the best gift you've ever given? Sometimes it feels good to be the giver of a gift. And has there been a moment that you've given a gift and you're like, wow, that was just amazing, that was awesome. So whoever you're here with, okay, these are the two questions. We're going to take a couple of minutes to kind of work that out a little bit. You can think about it for a moment. 1, 2, 3. And now, let's answer these questions. What's the best gift you've ever received? And what's the best gift you have, or what's the best gift you've ever given? We got about 3 to 5 minutes here, and 3, 2, 1, make it happen.
What the best gift you are ever received? I know. My health. Health is good health. Everyday protection. What is the best gift you are ever given to helping the poor? Yeah, you help the homeless inside the the store and even in homeless. Yeah, it's a lot of homeless. You need to help, give money, give food. Yeah, that's my best gift I've ever given. My daughter. Say hi. What's your best gift I've ever given? Receive. Of course, your gift like your health. Say anything. What gifts the Lord's given to you? There's one. Nothing there. Yeah. Ate po. Nag-shout out. Minsan na, nandito ako sa loob ng simbahan. Hindi ako makapagsalita. Di ko na pinuntahan kagabi na miss sa kantahan ko. Sorry po. Pabawi na lang ako next time. Maraming ginagawa kasi. It's too busy. Alright, salamat at wala po ka. My daughter.
We can get into some of the things that you need to know about confirmation, which you already do. There's a little something that I think is critical for all of us, and that is to be known. To be known.
Bagong look niya.
I'm often known personally for what I do. I have the privilege to speak to about 30,000 students every year. I travel across the country with that. We have a charity that we started 15 years ago. Speak to 30,000 students, thousands of parents. At one point, we had a TV show. We got a book coming out in the next year. And all these things are outcomes that people know me for, right? But it's one thing to be known for something good or bad, and being known for who we are. The purpose of confirmation is not about what we do. It's about being able to stand whether I choose to respond or not respond, that I am loved or I am. We belong before we believe. We belong before we believe. And once we know that we belong, there's a different kind of confidence. I didn't say arrogance. I said confidence. There's a song that I heard that was just powerful. Mr. Jerry Rodriguez on the bass has one of those voices that when I heard it for the first time, I was like, wow, that's a gift. That's part of this light that God gave him. But even if he couldn't sing, who Jerry is just as valuable and important. Yes or yes? Of course.
Yes.
But there's this song called No. And I've asked Jerry to share that song with us. It's from an artist by the name of Torn Bells. And as you hear this, I want you to listen to the words. It might not be your style. That's okay. God gave you a personality. Aren't you glad you're not like me? You're like, yes, amen. Because if you tried to be me, watch this, you would only be a cheap imitation. And if I tried to be you, I would fall so short because of what God gave you. I would not be able to accomplish the way you do. And that's a good thing. Because that is what the body of Christ looks like. All of us, our cultures, our personalities, our differences. And we bring that with joy and generosity. People ask me all the time, they say, Michael, why are you always happy? I said, I tried sad, I didn't like it. And I walk around because I got a million reasons why I can be upset. Why I can be hurt. I got a million reasons why I can walk away. I got a million questions as to why things had to happen the way they did. When my mom walked out with me as a kid, broke my heart. Why did that have to happen, God? When my wife was diagnosed with cancer, God, why did that have to happen? When our first son was only with us for 24 minutes, God, why did that have to happen? Until I said, God, would you help me to see something that I'm missing? And I realized that my mom, she had her own struggles. But when I was born many months premature. They called me a miracle baby. I like that name. But the doctor told my mom, if you go through with this, you have a 30% chance to live. My mom grabbed hold of the doctor's hand from what I understand now and said, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but maybe this is one thing that I can do that's good. And I'm willing to risk my life for that. You know what my mom's name is? Angel. Please pray for her. She's still going through a difficult moment in life. I'm having to love her from across the border. And the way that being invited to do that. For my wife. I didn't understand why she had to have cancer. But what we did is we grabbed each other's hands right before we got married and said, let's walk, let's go. Let's not miss the moment. Let's not miss the gift of today. Because we don't know how many gifts of those we have. And I'm thankful every day that we had caught the cancer in time. And today my wife is 100% cancer free. And I don't say that because we're better than anybody. But we just chose to walk through it. And then I said, God, what about Jacob? What about our son? We're going to be graduating high school this year. We're getting old. And God said, in my heart, He said, the 24 minutes that you got is going to remind you of something that you're going to help other people with. And I just had to sit with that for a long time. And 24 became so significant that it reminded me of today. 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. I didn't figure that out as smart. I figured that out as Google and memorize numbers. But it reminded me of today that this is the gift. What's the best gift you've ever received? Right here, right now. What's the best gift I've ever given? Well, right now. It's the gift that I have for you. And whether you choose to open that, it's on you. So Jerry, would you do me a favor and share that song with us for a moment?
So unusual, it's frightening. You see right through the mess inside me, and you call me out, you pull me in, you tell me I can start again. I don't need to keep on hiding. I'm fully known and loved by you. Won't let go, no matter what I do. It's not one or the other. I'm true, ridiculous space to be known, fully known, and loved by you, fully known, and loved by you. It's so like you to keep pursuing. It's so like me to go astray. Oh, but you got my heart with your truth. The kind of love that's bulletproof. I surrender to your kindness. I'm fully known and loved by you. You won't let go, no matter what I do. It's not one or the other. Hard to ridiculous ways to be known, fully known, and loved by you. How high is your heart? I cannot find the reasons why. You give me so much. I'm fully known
Let's go look at
and
that.
loved by you. You won't let go.
important question because this is now going to set us up for some pillars for our confirmation retreat. This is an important question because your kids probably aren't going to know what you're talking about, and you probably know what your kids are going to talk about because you see it all the time. But I want you to think back when you were a kid. Everybody was a little bit younger. And I want you to think back to your favorite superhero growing up for you. So if you're in grade 6 or whatever, it's probably around now. And if you're not in grade 6 and like a little bit older, I want you to think about that favorite superhero, who it was, and why it was they were your favorite superhero. You guys have a minute to share who that person was in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and share.
What's your favorite hero? Spider-Man. Spider-Man. This is my daughter. What? Nahihiya po.
On 3, I want you to call out your favorite superhero. 1, 2, 3. I didn't hear you. So, I'm just going to tell you mine, just due to time. And let me tell you what's going to happen this week. If any of you are in the room and you're kind of like, I need to know what's happening next. I've got one more quick little thing.
Say hi to Tito.
We're going to close this session with a song.
Yes,
Lyrics
yeah.
on the screen.
Say hi.
Because the lyrics on the screen, you're invited to what? There you go. If you can sing on key, that's great. If you can't sing on key, give God back. Is that what you say? Give God back whatever He gave you. Okay, there you go. Okay. So I want to close with this. This is going to set it up for us.
So
My
you
favorite
take it.
superhero, and I don't even know if it's a superhero. I don't care. It's my story. So
From your-
I was visiting my mom at the time. This is when I was really young before everything kind of went a little bit crazy. And I was watching the Saturday morning cartoons. Some of you remember Saturday morning cartoons. And there was a show that came on, and the show was called Popeye. Does anybody know who Popeye is? If you don't know the story of Popeye, it's very simple. Popeye was a sailor man. Popeye was not the smartest guy. And Popeye had this girl named Olive. And there was a guy that came in to mess with Olive. His name was Brutus Ludo, whatever his name is. And he would start messing with Olive. And Popeye would say something. I remember watching this as a kid as if it was yesterday. He would say, I can't stand this anymore. And I remember watching that, I'm like, Popeye, that's not right. But he would go to his source of strength, which was what? Spinach. He would take the spinach, he would squeeze it, it would shoot into the air, fall perfectly into his mouth, and then all of a sudden he would have the strength to protect the one that he loved. Now I remember watching that, I screamed out from the living room, I said, Mom! She ran in like something was wrong. She goes, what's wrong? I said, nothing. I said, I need some spinach. I had never seen my mom get in the car so fast. And she let me go on myself. I'm an emotional person. I think I'll be home alone forever. She goes to the grocery store, comes back, walks into the door. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, you're still here. Great. And she walks in and she takes out of the bag a Popeye brand can of spinach. And she says, Michael, this is for you. I said, thank you. I grabbed the can of spinach and said, Mom, back up. It's about to go down. Back up. And I take this can of spinach and I try to squeeze it and it won't work. And my mom saw me struggling. And she goes, Michael, let me help you. I'm like, I can do it. Let me help you. I can do it. Let me help you. Mom. So I give her the can of spinach. She goes into the kitchen. She undoes the can of spinach, can opener, puts it in the pot, starts cooking the spinach. I smell what was in that kitchen. I'm like, that's not right. What is in there is not right. And she calls out. She goes, Michael, it's ready. And I go into the kitchen, and on this plate was this massive green stuff that was like bubbling up. I thought it was going to eat me instead of me eating it. It didn't look right. And she goes, Michael, have a bite. I said, I can't do it. I can't. It ain't gonna work. And she gave me the greatest encouragement that every parent or grandparent gives their kid that doesn't want to eat something. She looks at me and she says, if Popeye can do it, you can do it. And And that was just enough encouragement. I said, that's right. And I took a big spoonful of this spinach. The moment it hit my tongue, I spit it out. I said, Popeye, that ain't right. That being said, what's the point of the story? Popeye knew his source of strength. My question is, to you, when I received confirmation, the gift of confirmation, I was told in this analogy that, does anybody like chocolate milk? Anybody chocolate milk fans? If you're a chocolate milk fan, put your hand way up.
Which one?
I can't stand chocolate milk. Okay, I can't stand it. But I'm glad you do.
I don't
But
know.
here's an image you won't forget as we move into this. If I were to take a glass of milk and set it on a table right here, filled up, and I would take chocolate sauce, and I would walk over to this glass of chocolate milk, and I would pour the chocolate sauce into the milk. And my daughter loves chocolate milk. So she would always say, more chocolate, Dad, more chocolate, more chocolate. To where half the glass would be filled up with chocolate sauce. Here's my question. Is it chocolate milk yet? You're not helping. The answer is no. Is it chocolate milk yet?
Oh.
What must I do in order to make chocolate milk? Stir it. So that's what I do is I stir it. And whenever I would stir it, and my daughter would be next to me, you could see her just be like, I can't wait for that, can't wait. But once I stir that chocolate sauce into the milk, and it becomes chocolate milk, my question for you is, can I ever take the chocolate out of the milk again? No. That, my friend, is what confirmation looks like. You receive the gifts and the fruits of the Holy Spirit. Confirmation is what stirs it all up. And whether we choose to drink from that or not, it's completely up to us. But it's always available, it's always fresh, never goes bad, and we can always go back to it as much as we want, each and every day. And so as we close this first session, we've talked a lot about a lot of things. We've talked about life. We've talked about grace. We've talked about gifts. We've talked about challenges and asking questions. We've talked about being known, not for what we do, but for who we are. And we've ended our time in the first session leading into what does our source of strength look like when life is challenging. And we finished by learning about what confirmation does. Is that the gifts and the fruits are stirred up within. That is the confidence that you can right now leave with, and everything would be probably better than it is today, if we believe it. And we also learned about grace. And so the best way that I figure we can end this first session, after this song is over, we're going to take about a 5-6 minute break, so it's just to kind of let your ears stop having to hear my voice. If you need to go to the washroom, it's just right out those doors right there. You know what they are. This is your church. By the way, thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for letting us be a part of this journey with you. But because I've got my friends here, you can close with this our first session with this final song here. We'll load the lyrics up on the screen. And I also want to say thank you to my good friend Mr. Daniel, who's running all the tech stuff over there. Give him a round of applause.
My favorite saint is Saint Augustine. And he says, you who sing
children. Your promise to us.
Great is your love and just God of Jacob. You use only to lead the strong. You lead us in the song of your salvation. And all your people sing along. So
Remember
your people, remember your children, remember your promise to us.
your people, remember your children, remember your promise to God.
Can you really just write that down? I think that's very easy. You're like, wow, we're doing 30 minutes left? Maybe not. Well, I'll make sure that, what I do know is that we are in St. Patrick's Catholic Church. Amazing staff here, by the way. Thank you for leading this whole process with us. And Father Jerome, as you know, is so special. I've never seen someone so passionate in my life. I'm honored to call him a friend as well. And thank you for being here. We're going to take about a 5-minute break. Okay, so you can stretch out a little bit, go to the washroom, and be back in 5 minutes. Yes?
We're going to car.
If you want, you can also go down to the basement to use the washrooms downstairs.
Alright.
Right.
Take a break.
Go on ahead.
Break tayo. Punta ako sa labas para makapag-usap. Break time. You stay here? I go in the outside. Just only I going outside. Kumusta? Ate Pupantas. Hindi ako makapagsalita. Di ako nakapunta sa live mo, ate. Babawi na lang kasi busy ako. Nagpapagawa ng mga maintenance ng mga sasakyan for summer. Okay, salamat po. Salamat po, ate. Where's the key? I go outside the way a bit. Ayan mo. Ah. Ayaw niya akong palabasin. Kumusta kayo? Nag-love shoutout pala sa 2,000,000 dyan na nanonood. At sa mga naka-BG dyan. Nag-love shoutout sa inyo. Nahihiya. There's a 2 minutes more. There's a time there. You have food there? Oh, the burgers. Mag-break na. Saka itutuloy na naman. Data. Nawala ulit. Nawawala ang internet ah.
Have a good afternoon so far? I hope so. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We're grateful, we're thankful for this moment. We're thankful for each other, for our family. Thankful for the gift of life. Thankful for the gift of being able to be here together this afternoon. May you prepare our hearts for this miraculous grace, the moment that will forever change our lives for the better, and that this will be a moment where our future self will always thank us for. We know this, you can pray along with me, what we do. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Give us the trespasses, so we forgive those who trespass. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Leading up to confirmation.
Retreat.
I had a best friend.
Confirmation retreat.
His name was Jesse. Jesse and I spent our summers together, along with another friend of mine, Jason. And they're still my friends today. They're very different than me. They don't believe what I believe. It was the best. It had like 5 diving boards on it, okay? It had like a regular diving board, a higher diving board that was bouncing, and then the diving boards that you see on the Olympics, like the platform ones. Have you ever seen those before? Where there's like a thing of concrete. There's 3 of those. And Jesse and I, one day, were standing there, we were looking up, we said, hey, Mike, one day, we're going to jump off the top one. I'm like, yeah, one day we're going to do it. So the next day, we go to the swimming pool, because we went every day. He said, Michael, today is the day that I think you should jump off that high. Haven't you noticed that it's always the best friend to try to get you to do something that they don't want to do, but they think you should do it and go first, right? And so I said, Jesse, I'm not going to do that. You couldn't pay me money to do that right now. And Jesse started off, everybody, who here wants to see my best friend Michael jump off that diving board up there? And for some reason, everybody in the swimming pool thought it was a great idea. And so they started cheering. And Jesse started saying, go, Michael, go. Go, Michael, go. The whole swimming pool all began like, go, Michael, go. I don't know what it was about all those people cheering my name on, but I found myself not even realizing that I started to climb up the ladder to that platform diving board. I get to the first level, I'm like, this is getting high, but the cheers kept getting louder. So I get to the second platform, the louder the cheers got, all the way till I got to the very top of the platform diving board. Now I did the worst thing that you should do if you don't walk something that high. Is I walked to the edge of the diving board, and what did I do?
Hi, Michelle.
That's when the moment I realized I'm not doing this. I'm not going to do that. So I start going back, I start climbing down the diving board, and the lifeguard starts blowing his whistle as if I couldn't hear him. Now, I was choosing not to listen to him. And so as I'm climbing down more, he starts blowing the whistle louder. Finally, I stop. I said, what? He says, you can't do that. I said, watch me. And I keep going down so he said, no, get back up to the top. I need to talk to you. So I climb back up to the very top. And he says, what are you doing? I said, saving my life. He says, well, that's not our policy here. I said, well, what is your policy? Our policy here is if you climb up, you got to jump off. I said, well, I won't say nothing if you don't say nothing, right? It's like that whole thing about trying to be fair all the time. There's no such thing as that. Do for one what you hope you will do for all. And sometimes that just ain't fair. And I look over at the lifeguard, I said, man, I can't do it. I said, by the way, I'm not going to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sit. I was a very stubborn kid, you can't tell. I said, I'm going to sit up here, I'm going to live up here, you can help out me and say, McDonald's French fries, it's going to be just fine, I'm fine. And Jesse, my best friend, at the bottom of the swimming pool on the ground there, said, Michael, what's wrong? I'm like, don't you talk to me. If I would have my flip-flops on, I would have proved that right now. He said, you got to jump. I said, I can't, man. He said, I got you. He said, everybody, that's my best friend Michael. He's up at the top and he's scared. We got to cheer him down. And I started to hear those cheers again. Go, Michael, go. And I knew at that moment that as much as I wanted to stay up there, I couldn't. I had to get down. And the lifeguard had his eyes fixed on me. He wasn't going to let me climb down. And so I did what many of us do when we're a little bit scared at first. I'm going to count to 3. And so what I did is I counted to 3. I said 1, 2, 3, and I ran. I did the thing I wasn't supposed to. I should have done. I was supposed to jump, but I didn't. I couldn't do it. And you can hear everybody at the bottom of the swimming pool say, oh! And the cheers got even louder. And then I said, this is my moment. 1, 2, 3. And I ran and I launched myself off of this platform. Now, out of my peripheral vision, this courage that I didn't know I had. I came out of that swimming pool, and everybody was cheering. I jumped out of that swimming pool, ran right to Jesse. I said, Jesse, you got to do it. It's going to be amazing. And I pointed up there. So you're just going to climb up there. You're going to go up there. You're going to be scared. Don't worry. The lifeguard ain't going to let you come down, by the way. But you can go up there. You're going to jump off. Jesse, you can do it. I look at him. He was running home. He said, I ain't doing that. Faith. We were all taught that in this room at some point. You wouldn't be here if you hadn't heard that. But what is faith? Faith is confidence. Faith means, God, I believe you can do all things. You can do all things. I'm going to go ahead and believe that. How many of you as a kid or as an adult were taught that at some point in your life, that God, you can do all things? That is faith. If you believe that, say aye. But there's a component to this that I was not taught. And I think many of us fail to realize that if faith is confidence, we call that confidence, God, I believe in all things. There's a component that has to kind of be along with it. And the word is called trust. If faith means confidence, then trust means what? Commitment. And here's the prayer. God, I believe you can do all things. But even if you don't do it my way, I'm still going to be faithful. It's like that story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I don't know if you've heard that story. I call them Shadrach, Meshach, and a bungalow. I don't know how to say it properly, but I think that's fine too. That they were asked to bow down and to worship the king. And if they did not bow down and worship the king, they were going to get thrown into the fiery furnace. And here's what they said. They said, we believe that our God can save us. Faith. But even if our God does not save us from this fiery furnace, we want you to know, King Nebuchadnezzar, that we will not bow down and worship you. Trust. God, we believe you can do all things, but even if you don't do it my way, I'm still going to be faithful. I had asked you a question earlier, and you shared with each other about gifts. I love to receive gifts. Our whole charity is built on receiving gifts. That's how we operate. And for my birthday this year, we had just come home from Lethbridge. We were in Lethbridge, Alberta, doing 4 events that day. It was an extremely long day. And we came home, and I had always had a dream to have something. Now, when I tell you what this is, some of you are looking at me like I'm crazy. I don't care. I've always wanted to have an airplane. And people ask me, well, Michael, why do you want an airplane? And I said, why do you want a car? They said, to get me from point A to point B. I said, that's why I want an airplane. They said, well, why do you need one? I said, I didn't say I needed one. I said, but imagine if we had one. We'd be able to go all over the world and respond to schools and be able to get home and spend more time with our family. And I prayed, I asked God, I asked God for anything. If you don't ask, sometimes you don't get. So I just wanted to ask. If it says no, that's okay. At least I asked. And I never got an airplane. Can you believe that? Never got one. But a friend of mine calls me up many years ago and he says, hey, Michael, I felt like I was supposed to call you. I said, why? He said, I bought something today. I said, what did you buy? He goes, I don't want to tell you. I said, well, yes, you do, because you called me. What did you buy? He said, Michael, I bought an airplane. He goes, actually, I bought 2. I said, how much money do you have? I said, why are you telling me that you bought an airplane? He said, Michael, because I'm feeling like I'm supposed to tell you that if you ever get a phone call from a school or a church that needs you to come in for whatever reason, last minute, or something happened and you need to respond, I want you to know that you have access to use my airplane anytime you want it, and I will fly you, and I will pay for the gas, and I'll pay for everything. I said, you do what? We've been able to respond to many different schools that have faced a tragedy or whatever else, and he honored his gift. Now, I started looking at how much the airplane actually costs, and I said, thank you, Jesus, I don't want that kind of bill. But even if I do get a bill or something that I feel I can't handle, I say, Jesus, you got mail. Help me out with this. But somehow my son Simon, who's 9 years old, 11 years old, sorry, he heard me talk about that one day. And my son is always watching, always thinking. You as a young person, you're always watching, you're always thinking. Stay curious. It's a gift God gave you. And when I opened up, he says, Dad, I got a gift for you. And he goes, I'm really excited about this. I said, well, I think I am too. I said, but you're putting big expectations on this gift. You still don't like it. He says, no, I think you're going to love it. I said, really? He hands me this little gift that's wrapped up. And it's not very big. I said, well, what could be this gift that's so valuable to you for me? He says, Dad, open it. And he saw his eyes get real big. And when I opened it, my eyes went, Simon, really? He said, do you like it? I'm going to let you answer that. It's happening on Wednesday. He said, Dad, I bought you your own private jet. He said, Dad, I couldn't give you the real thing, but I got you the next best thing. You see, the gift will come to us in ways and in places that sometimes we least expect it. That's why you always have to stay open, our eyes open, our hearts open. So what are these gifts and fruits that God is going to give you in confirmation? Well, I'm so fired up about this. What about wisdom? Wisdom is a great thing. If you ask any person that's over the age of 18 in this room, ask them if they're wise, they'll probably say, yeah. Why? Because your life experience teaches you things. I told you earlier that your track record will get through bad days is 100%. But if you don't reflect on how God has been faithful to you, even in moments that we may have not been faithful to Him, then we miss wisdom. That's what wisdom looks like. It also says that a person with a certain color hair is really wise. It means gray. I'm starting to get some, okay? Just for men is awesome. What about understanding? The gift of understanding. The gift of counsel. Some of you, that gift is going to be a highlighted gift for you. That you're going to be able to help lead and direct and build. What about fortitude? Courage. Right? It's like being on that diving board and knowing that you have to jump. And that's going to take some faith to jump off of that, but you're going to have to trust to know that whatever happens is going to be for the greater glory of Him. What about knowledge? The gift of knowledge. Some of you that have that gift, I wish I could be more like you. I do. But at the same time, I want to be able to be with and receive and use what God gave me, and maybe together we can do something even greater. But nonetheless, you will receive that gift. You receive the gift of piety and the gift of the fear of the Lord. Now, something to scare you, but it's meant to show you. If you've ever stood at the bottom of a mountain and looked up, that smallness isn't a bad thing. That smallness is a reality that there is so much more in this world. There's so much more than what you're going to face in school. You want to know what happened to me in the 7th grade? I failed the 7th grade. Do you believe that? The teacher failed me. I said, what's wrong with you? Look at this. You can't fail me. She said, you didn't do your work. I said, that's not the point. I was learning different ways. you would look at me and you say, Michael, how are you doing? What would I say? Good, fine. But on the inside, that label dictated and determined how I believe, what I believe about myself. Until somebody told me the difference between facts and truth. The fact was, I failed in 7th grade. The truth is, I am not a failure. I just made a mistake. So young people, when you find yourself in a moment where it seems to be a little bit, off, and maybe something doesn't work out the way you hoped it would, and maybe you kind of mess up a little bit, be careful to pick up the label of a moment, of a mistake, and realize that that's just what it was. We all make mistakes. But I am not a failure, and neither are you. The goal is that tomorrow become better than today. And the fruits lead us to the gifts. It's like whenever you have that, there's an outcome, how things to go. And this is what I love most, Galatians 5:22. And by the way, friends, we're getting close to the end. Are you okay? You with me on this? Yeah. You can keep going and drawing this out, but I want to make this a moment that you remember. Galatians 5:22. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control. Love. Love is the thing that helps us understand what is most important. Remember what I told you that my mom walked out when I was a kid? My mom ended up serving 20 years in the Texas State Penitentiary, in prison, for decisions that she's made. I had a motivational speaker come to our high school. I hated motivational speakers. Then I became one. And that motivational speaker had my number. I was in the back of the theater at Walton High School in Houston. And he was giving his speech, and I could care less about what he said. And he pointed me out. He says, hey, funny man, stand up. And then I stood up. And then I stood up on top of my chair. And everybody's like, ooh, that's the wrong guy to mess with. He looks at me and he says, do you think you're funny? I said, well, I think I'm funnier than you. And that was the wrong thing to say. And he says, well, funny man, I'd like to get to know you. He said, tell me about your family. I said, sure. I said, my family, my dad was great. My dad was a musician. My dad played with the likes of Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, Elvis Presley, maybe they've heard of it. My dad was a lot of fun. He raised me as a single mom. And the speaker looks at me and he said, you should be grateful that you have a dad in your life. There's people that don't. I said, I am. What did you talk about? He said, but I'm going to ask you one question. He said, do you love your mom? And that was the first time, my friends, that I didn't want to pretend to be. Standing on top of that chair in that theater, with all eyes on me, and you're going to hear the pin drop. I looked at that motivational speaker and I said, no, I don't. Because I can't understand how a mom could walk out. The motivational speaker said, if I can prove to you that you love your mom, would you sit down and listen to my talk? I said, give it your best shot. And with one statement, I learned what the fruit of the Holy Spirit with love. And whoever this is for, here you go. He said, if you didn't love your mom, it wouldn't hurt. That's when you know how powerful you are for each other. That's why these Galatians 5:22 isn't just these words that sound good. When you say love and joy, oh, let's smile all the time, pretend like there's nothing bad happening. That's not joy. Joy, Mary, our mother Mary, is known to be called the joy of all who sorrow. She still finds joy in the midst of the pain. Peace. To bring peace everywhere we go. Not just with a handshake, but with a heart. Patience. How many of you in this room could use a little bit more patience? Right? That's the fruit. That's what comes interesting thing is that the last fruit of the Spirit is the one that helps us live in the Spirit as much as we possibly can. The Word and the fruit. And sometimes I have to say no to some things, but truly say yes to the right things. So for those of you that are in school right now, and you're being asked to do this, or to do that, or to be a part of this, sometimes you have to say no to certain things in order to say yes to the right things. That is a lesson that we'll be learning for the rest of the we're going to do this. 1, 2, 3. This is a great song. The song is powerful. The song is Lord, I need you. Maybe you know that song. I've asked Jerry and Alfie to make this part of our prayer as we do this together, because I think that is a prayer that will help us develop our spiritual life. And you might say, Mike, go with it. I want to make a step. That's more than enough. God needs a step. That's more than enough. God needs us. I told you earlier. We belong before we believe. Because that's what love is like. You as a parent, you know what that looks like. You as a kid, you're understanding that each and every day. So what do you need our Lord to be with you? Is it school? Is it family? Brothers want to be in junior high school, whatever it is. Whatever it is, big or small, sad or black. This prayer is so powerful. Lord, I need you. Lord, I need you. So we're going to start with the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. If you are a parent or a confirmation sponsor, during this prayer, I just ask you to really think of your kid or the person that you're sponsoring, to make that a prayer for them. Okay? And you will be wrapped up in that prayer as well. God will be with you at once. If you know the song, you're welcome to sing along. Put the lyrics up on the wall. If you just want to listen and just kind of get into that moment of quiet, that's available too as well.
The greatest life children are all adults now. I want the young people to know that when you're born, the doctor doesn't give your mom or dad instructions on how to raise you. We don't come with instructions. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. Ask the Lord to walk with you. And for Him to be with you and be your God.
Jesus, you're a holy state. I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My only defense, righteousness.
Now all glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Is now. Michael Chesson, it's been a privilege to be your guide in the confirmation retreat. I hope it's something that's been helpful today we talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of different streets, a lot of different things that relate to what our faith can look like and should look like in some ways, especially in regards to the light and everything that we do. So before you leave today, I want you just to kind of think about what is one or two things
Malapit
that
na
I'm going to take
matapos.
with me from this retreat. Sometimes as a person up here in the front, we got all different people on all different levels of their spiritual life and family dynamics. And my hope is that there's something that everybody's able to take something from. So before we're gonna have to close with the final song together. By the way, this is for the kids. So if you're a little bit older, let them have a moment. It's good. You can sing along too. But I want to bring you up to give some final announcements, things like this. Can we give Laura a big round of applause for everything she's done?
Yes, sir. Sige. Come on.
You're responsible. Just look at that person that's with you and say, you're amazing, and you don't mind. Just say, you're
Amazing.
This will be our final song for our retreat. After it's over, you're free to go. My name is Michael Chesson. Thank you so much for seeing. God bless you.
Let's go now. Tapos na. Yung mga tao. Ano, ano. Let's go. Ha? Ako, walang signal. Ayun. Wala kami sa sasakyan. Alright. Well done. We'll go home now. Let's go home. Tapos na. Tingnan lang, tapos na. Tagal pala, 2 hours. Yung retreat. Ganda ng weather, no? It's good. Nice weather.
I saw Ashley's friend.
Yeah? It's good, right? There's some music. It's recording. What are you calling? Oh, this one. It's record. Alright, let's go. Your door. You wouldn't close your door. Open her car. Backing. I'm not even close. Alright, tapos na tayong nakinig sa retreat. Retreat. Pauna tayo. Alright. Yun na, natapos na rin. Next is confirmation now. Ay, what's that? Yeah, retreat confirmation. He said there. Whew. So sleepy. And, well, maintenance the car 4 o'clock. Then we'll go to CLT for the church again.
Because it's Ashley's birthday. Ashley's mom's birthday.
Yeah. Pusin natin to. Pagdating sa bahay na lang. Pag-uwi natin. Naantok ako kanina sa tundaan. Bali, hindi boring kasi may music. It's from US, right? What's that artist? From Texas, right? Musician. Musician for the church. Look like the worship song, right? Palubat na ako ah. Ay, nako. Alright. Go home, go home, go home. I'm hungry now. I need to eat. Just only I eat breakfast when Kuya Gado's live. Maybe Kuya Gado is still live because said Charana, Charana, Tarana, Tara, Tarana. Yes, me almost. I'm sleepy. I'm too early sleep last night. Wow, nice. It's Corbett. Yeah, it's Corbett, right? Magsilabasan naman yung mga sports car. Mga Ferrari. Summer na naman eh. Let's go. Almost, 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 almost. Uh-oh. Playground sound. 30. Speeding. Baby, get it up, get it up. Baby, you should get it up. Na 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 na. Baby, get it up, get it up. Oh, there's a lot of playing soccer. We'll play too. What mama's cooking? I'm hungry. 2 hours. This thing. Not bad. Because I'm live. For content. For, for my video. For my YouTube. Yes. Kita na tayo. Suppose I'm going to gas the car. Oh, sorry. You get that one and you put it in your envelope. Okay. Right? Why? My parking is not straight. Alright. Alright, I put it here. Alright. Ang ganda ng weather. Ang init na. Sarap muna natin. Delikado. Alright. New gupit tayo ngayon. Ayan ang car namin. Oh. Forerunner. Yes. Ay, nakulubat. Mag-church muna tayo, magbabay. Bye-bye po, nandito na kami sa bahay. Shoutout po sa Ate Poca Hantas, nagtambay sa akin. Maraming salamat. Sorry ate, hindi ako nakapunta sa live mo. And then, si Kuya Alex Camela, salamat. At sa mga silent viewer natin dyan, mga naka-BG dyan. Maraming salamat. Can you open the door please, Bibi?
Yeah.
Talagang nakatutok. Babawi ako sa iyo, Ate Pocahontas. Alright. Dito na tayo. Alright. Then, salamat sa Soward Team, Chonky, The Anothers, Team Green, Team Pula, maraming salamat sa inyo lahat, and Kasangga Foundation, from Ate May and Tatay Eric, Eric G. Corpus. Bye-bye!